Happy New Year. Here we are again, my second annual Games of the Year. I think it's been a pretty good year. But yeah, let's just get on with the list. I kept hearing very good things about Stray, and going into it, I had so high hopes. But still, once I started playing, it was a huge surprise how much I would love it. And I think big part of it is just how gorgeous is it from the get-go. It's the world is so well crafted, and also you play as a cat, so who doesn't love to playing a cat? But yeah, once you get further into the story and discover the world, yeah, it's a very cozy place in a way. I just love being in the world, and I think it's open enough for me. Usually I don't like linear games, and this game has its linear parts. But there are parts where you are very open to just explore and some small puzzles to solve. And it's those parts that I love, like just exploring the world and seeing how all the robots are living and stuff like that. Even though it's a very depressing world, it's still very cozy and very warm. And I think big part of that is are the robots. I love them so much. But yeah, it's overall, it's everything put together is a magnificent game. It's quite short, but yeah, that's why it's number 5 in my Games of the Year. This might be one of the biggest surprises of the year. I was never really a Call of Duty guy. I was more of a Battlefield guy. But I keep hearing good things about the DMC mode in this. So I thought, why not try? And yeah, it very much is my jam. I love the big open spaces. I love the RPG-ness of it all. Essentially, you jump in, do missions, level up your weapons, level up your character in a sense. And it's so much fun. And when you play together with friends, yeah, it's so fun. Also, it reminds me a little bit of, I'm not sure if people remember, but Terrorist Hunt mode in Rainbow Six Las Vegas. That was so much fun in playing with your friends, and essentially this is kind of like that, because you have so many OE characters to kill, and when you meet other players, it gets very intense and it's so much fun. I think I will continue playing this during like 23 a lot. So yeah, it's so good. It got into my top 5. Wild West went completely under my radar for most of the year, and I'm not sure why. But once I heard like the description of it as an immersive sim mixed with like a CRPG, yeah, I instantly got interested in it, and so I started playing it, and I fell in love with it. It's just like the games I like. It's kind of janky in a way, and it doesn't fully live up to the potential of it. But what it does so well. It's so much atmosphere in it. Even though it's like a eerie and kind of like horror-esque western, I just love being in the world. The music is great, the art style is great, and even though the graphics are very primitive in a sense, I see so much potential in this, and I really hope that there's like a second one, because it kind of reminded me of like a Neverwinter Nights back in the day. Like the core of the game is so good, but it wasn't until like the second one that it fully lived up to its potential, and I hope that happens with this one. So please, whoever decides things like that. Just make sure that Weird West 2 happens. But as it is, this is an amazing game, and the story itself is worth exploring. It's at first I didn't really like that you play different characters, but where it goes in the end is so very much worth it. Yeah, this is an amazing game, and I can't see where it goes. I kept hearing a lot of good things about Vampire Survivors, and I was skeptic for a long time, but I still bought it when it was cheap. And when I started playing, my first thought was like, oh yeah, this is not for me. But then the music started going, and I'm like, alright, this is pretty good. And yeah, pretty fast I was so addicted to the game. It's such a pure game, like in just being a game. And yeah, and I still play it. I played both on my Steam Deck and on Xbox, trying to get all achievements on both. So yeah, that's how good it is. At least it's the most addicting game this year. Yeah, amazing game. So here we are, the best game of the year. So let me start by saying I'm not a Souls guy. They're too hard for me. I get too frustrated with them, and yeah. But I kept hearing about that Elden Ring might be one of the best games ever made. So it got me too curious. So I tried it, and I quickly realized like what I love so much about it is like you have this open world, and it's very free, and they don't hold your hand. You are so free to just explore and discover things, and that is something while other games do it, but this does it so well. And together with the danger of being in the world, it's very hard, but you are free to just avoid danger until you feel prepared for it. And I think that is something many games don't do well. Even other Souls games doesn't do that well, because they are more linear, so you're forced to do like hard parts. You have to force yourself through them, and in Elden Ring it's like, since you're free to go elsewhere, you can go and like level up until essentially you're overpowered, and that gives you the power, and that is so powerful. And I think that's why I loved it so much. Like I almost have 200 hours in the game, and yeah, that's more than I spent on many games. And yeah, I agree, this is the best game of the year, and it is also like one of the best games I ever played. Sure, it's not perfect, there's many things I don't like about it, but what it does, it hits so hard and well with me. I really hope they continue making open worlds, because yeah, there's so much improvement to do still, and I want to see where they go with it. But yeah, as it is, it's the best game of the year, and one of the top 10 games of all time for me, I think. Yeah, magnificent game.